for this webinar today. Okay. And the topic for this talk is very interesting. Okay. 5G in the fight against COVID-19. Okay. For your information, this event is jointly organized by the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, MMU, and ZTE Malaysia, under this 5G Education Hub initiative, currently undertaken by MMU, with the aim to enhance the knowledge of the public about 5G technology. Okay. For last year, we managed to organize 4 technical talks related to 5G and IoT. But for this year, due to the pandemic, we are moving this talk to online. So on behalf of MMU, I would like to express our appreciation to ZTE, especially Dr. Tiong, who is also here today, for supporting us in organizing this event. And also to our speaker today, Mr. Leong Wee Kee, for your time and for your willingness to share with us your experience and knowledge. Okay, so let me first introduce our speaker today. Okay, we have Mr. Leong Wee Kee, currently the pre-sales wireless product manager of ZTE Malaysia. He has been with ZTE for 6 years already. His job mainly on providing end-to-end product solution to mobile network operator, focusing on radio access network. Before that, he was an engineer in Huawei for 4 years. And before that, he was a senior telecommunication engineer in Itopia. Okay, Mr. Leong has a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Electronics and Computer System Engineering from Monash University. Okay. For the agenda of this webinar, we will first have the presentation from Wee Kee, then followed by a Q&A session. Okay. Then finally a group photo at the end of this event. So if you have any question, you may ask your question during the Q&A session later, but you first unmute your mic. Make sure to unmute your mic. Or you can put down your question in the chat box, okay, so that I can pick up your question later during the Q&A session. Okay, so without further ado, I will pass the mic to Wee Kee. We will start the talk today. Thank you very much. Stop presenting. Okay.
Yeah. You give me a moment. I'll share my slides. Hello, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Lim, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Lim, for the introduction. My name is Leong Wee Kee. Everyone can call me Wee Kee. And I'm from ZTE Malaysia, as mentioned, as intro by Dr. Lim just now. First of all, before I start the webinar today, it's actually my first webinar. Before I start my webinar today, I would like to wish everyone safe during this MCO period. It's a difficult period for everyone as I feel, and yeah, just wish everyone safe and good health. We see that this COVID-19, the initial of this COVID-19 is actually from China. So the general epicenter of this pandemic is that actually started from China. And today, what I'm going to share is actually what China has did throughout since the beginning of this pandemic with the 5G technology to help to change everyone's life. We see that everyone's during this MCO period has been staying at home. Uh, all their lives or all the businesses, all the industry has been affected. But things has changed with the 5G technology have in China today. We can change our life. Although there is a pandemic, we can change our life to a better life, I can say. Uh, but this is why this today's presentation is sharing the case on 5G, how 5G can enhance the technology itself, how to enhance people's life, how to change the industry itself, how to change the way we live every day from various directions. But before I start the technology itself, let me just introduce who is ZTE. I believe not everyone knows this well, especially in ZTE in 5G scene. Um, I'll just do some quick explanation on ZTE position in global 5G scene today. ZTE generally is a network equipment vendor, is a manufacturer. So besides 5G, we also produce 2G, 3G, 4G, and as well as today 5G, and as well as other fixed network like GPON technology that you have today. In 5G itself, we are basically the major contributor to 5G standards. We are one of the top three contributor. With today, we have 5,000 plus 5G patents has been submitted. So 7,000 plus proposal, and we have a 2561 3GPP 5G as of February 2020. I believe today we have more. So we also aggressively, involved in all the 5G projects with 3GPP. And today we have not today, as of February, we have 46 commercial contracts, 5G contracts all over the world. And then we have 70 plus global cooperation with other operators around the world. About 180,000 5G antenna has been shipped out today. Mainly they are in China. And in China, we have basically all three major operators are having partnered with us to deploy this 5G. 300 plus cities to roll out 5G, 12,000 plus sites by ZTE in the four biggest cities in China today: Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. And in the international scene, we have a lot of cooperation. We have a lot of partnership with Orange, Tree, Telefonica in the Spain, as well as Windtree in Italy. So we are one of the so-called the leaders manufacturer for 5G network equipment. Generally, this is who we are. And in China, we are one of the major players. We can say that today we have more than 33% market share for China 5G deployment. So China today already commercial their 5G network. They are actually starting building it since last year. So in all major cities with all three major mobile operators: China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicom. So before the pandemic hits China, they do have a layer of 5G already. So 5G in China over there is not just serving the mobile phones that we have, that we can enjoy 4G like today we enjoy 4G, but 5G actually can benefits more industrial players, certain businesses, and certain business verticals, certain applications, rather than just using a mobile phones, browsing a Facebook or YouTube. So it actually even more applications to our lives with 5G. So if you're looking at the today's presentation, I generally will start on the background on the demand during this COVID-19 pandemic. When it happens in China, what are the demands and what are the businesses, what are industry require 5G network, and how 5G network where we collaborate all the industrial players together to basically tackle and to enhance people's life with 5G. On the second part of the today's webinar, I'll talk more on the ZTE solution that we have in fighting all these five different industrial verticals and how we complement with our solutions on these five different verticals that required during COVID-19. And the third part of this webinar, I will share on the cases that we are, all the collaboration that we have with other industrial players on each of the businesses or applications or industrial wise. So you can have some feelings what actually has been done in China with 5G during this pandemic. Although today in Malaysia we do not have 5G yet, it will be coming very, very soon. And of course, hopefully, when 5G is there in Malaysia, then we can have all these services or businesses or applications in Malaysia for us to enjoy and enhance our life and basically change the way we live every day. So here, generally, we'll start with the first part is the overall demands on 5G industrial applications. Under in China, they call it epidemic prevention and control. So during the epidemic prevention and control, do have identified five different industrial applications that actually requires 5G. So the first one on the left is telemedicine. The second one is distant education. Third one is emergency management. Generally, emergency management is actually require someone to be there and then to take an action on certain actions required.
Sorry, Vicky.
Yes.
Your slide, you can you project them on your slide?
Oh, okay. So
We are not following the slide.
I think I'm projecting on a different one. You are not seeing a full screen, is it?
No. Now it's full screen.
Is it full screen right now?
Yeah, now okay.
Okay. Yeah, give me a moment. Yep. So the fourth industrial application that we see is a remote office that we have today.
No, sorry,
remote
Vicky.
office is not just yep.
We are seeing the not full screen one, right? And again.
Okay, I try to change it. Yeah. Let me try this. Okay, is it full screen right now?
Yes.
Dr. Lim?
Yes, now okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, so the fourth one is the remote office. Generally, remote office provide real-time interaction of online office software anytime, anywhere. While today at home we are using generally like today we have a Google, we have Microsoft Teams. Remote office generally have more additional more with like big data, video conferencing, and virtual reality on top of it. Okay. The fifth one is media and propaganda. Propaganda generally provides certain video feed, live video feed, and high definition video feed, even like 4K video feed from the COVID-19 epidemic scene directly to everyone at home. Okay. Generally, these are the five industrial applications. The focus point here for 5G is a wide coverage to provide high quality and rich multimedia information capability anytime, anywhere in China. And it's with a large bandwidth and low latency for everyone. And besides that, also integrate certain data collection that requires, especially on telemedicine, when you have a certain person which is sick, So all this info, all the scanning from the medical equipment need to be transported back to the servers and be kept safe over there, kept in the hospital where this integrated storage and collection, in the data collection and storage is required uh, with 5G. Besides that, also provide a basic data service. Generally, this basic data service, we probably we can see more data required compared to 4G during this pandemic stage when pandemic hits. So generally, these are the five industry applications that actually request under this pandemic prevention and control. And in this entire presentation, we will address each of these industrial application, and then how ZTE have a how ZTE collaborate and have our 5G technology in tackling all these five different industry. If you look at the entire all this industry integrated, so we do have an application scenario on top, which which is supporting all these five different industrial: telemedicine, distant education, emergency management, remote office, and media propagation. In the middle, we have platforms and components. Generally, is the servers and the storage required, and the application hosting servers for all the application for all these five industry in the middle. So you can see a cloud video, video monitoring, analysis, IoT platform, even artificial intelligence AI aided big data platform to analyze certain scenario on the pandemic when someone hits on a hot zone. Some financial cloud platform on the media, basically on pushing the media out. Something like what we have here, like a Netflix kind of video. It is provided during the media and propagation industry. So where the 5G sits, 5G sits is actually sitting in between the platform and components and the terminal access. So with all the terminal or distributed all over the place, where it's actually connected using 5G. What today is 4G in Malaysia, or even in China initially there's a 4G, but in China right now it's 5G and it's backward compatible with 4G or even the wired or even Wi-Fi. So 5G plays a role in between this platform as well as terminal access. And during this COVID-19, we can see more terminal accesses connecting to the platform available branch out coming new during this pandemic during this COVID-19 pandemic. These are, you can see that like a medical trolley where it is movable, where it requires a 5G connectivity instead of fiber connectivity, because fiber you cannot pull fiber at every single location. Where medical trolley, it when people host certain when people need certain medical equipment at certain location where it's a and it only can have it on a mobile, where it require only 5G connectivity is required. So there where 5G is really a benefit in this COVID-19. So we can see other equipment like 4K terminal video, infrared temperature screening, thermal imaging, and cloud video conferencing terminal. If we look at the China requirement, there's a national policy on telemedicine itself. Sorry, it's in Chinese because that's where they advertise their policy in Chinese. But it involves four different people like hospital and medical staff hospital and medical staff for this telemedicine, and patient family members, disease prevention and control department. They have a specific department on this telemedicine, and all major operators that providing the connectivity for this on this telemedicine industry during this pandemic 19 COVID-19. While for distant education itself, it involves basically four different parties like students, teachers. Education industry generally is our their Ministry of Education, and also major operators are in here as well. providing a 5G connectivity to support their distant education requirements from the national policy. While for emergency management, it only involves three parties like government management organization, emergency command agency, and also major operators, where major operators are the one that actually providing 5G connectivity. And for remote office is involved on enterprise employees, enterprise administrators, and of course, it's always there major operators with the 5G connectivity. The last one is the media and propaganda. It will be government publicity organization. Generally, this is hosted by their like us. They are hosted by the Ministry of Health. There's a media and news agency. The content provider, something like a Netflix provider, and of course the major operators. And if you look at all these five industry, how they interact with each other. So if you look at the industrial cooperation model is like this. So they have an operator that actually provide the connectivity. So it consists of the service flow from operator to the hospital. While ZTE here playing in the role together with operator to collaborate in these entire models. So of course, industrial service provider here for all five industry, it is involved here as well. So on the right side here is how the service flow and the capital flow is actually working in all four key players lah. This generally is the part one, the overall background on how China have it, and they define five different industrial vertical to tackle this pandemic, as well as how in 5G, how we helping all these five industrial in tackling in going through this COVID-19 pandemic. If you look at telemedicine itself, when we drill it down on all the solutions that ZTE have, ZTE do have a 5G remote and mobile diagnosis treatment. Generally, this is to solve the pain point of the expert consultation, where expert consultation need to be there where the patient is. When the expert is not have a massive amount, but there's a massive amount of patients. So the mobile diagnosis is it can be, while the consultation will be sitting inside a central location, and the mobile diagnosis is distributed in every single location for the expert to have a certain consultation while measuring, when feeding all this information back to the consultant, medical expert consultant. While remote routing and guiding, because we cannot, we are close proximity with the patient, so there's a 5G remote routing and guiding is required instead of face-to-face. So during COVID-19, you need to have a gap. When there's a gap there, you are connected with the 5G network. This is similar with the 5G remote visitings, when there's intense patients or restriction on visiting time. So remote visiting is possible for their family members and to visit via 5G connectivity instead of a face-to-face, this kind of scenario, where 5G remote visiting is possible. Especially there's a restriction time also, probably as every day you probably have a 1 hour or 2 hour window for them to visit the COVID-19 patients. While with 5G, you can actually prolong this time, the visiting time, as also increase the gap from affecting the virus. The last one is the 5G ambulance. When there's a 5G ambulance, ambulance have a lot of medical diagnosis equipment. Okay, all these diagnosis equipment today, they are all segregated with the central hospitals. They are not connected. They are not sharing the information. Okay, while with 5G ambulance, the information can be shared between the data captured on the ambulance and the central at the hospital. So first aid response time actually can be reduced. Instead, you diagnose, you do not know, or you are sharing the patient's information with the hospital, it can be done via 5G. While if you look at the general network diagram itself, 5G base station is actually sitting in the middle, okay, in the middle. So on the left side here, yeah, is actually the ward on the first aid vehicle, or we call it the facility configuration, really based on this scenario, and is connected via the 5G CPE, where it provides a connectivity for all the medical, like a multi-parameter monitor or dynamic electrocardiometer is actually connected to a video terminal, and then to the 5G CPE with the base station to share the information around, to share the video feed around. Okay, so there are video terminator that have the connectivity with 5G to consolidate all this information to share around. And then it's actually on the right side, you have a first aid center, where it's a consultation center hosting there, also have a connectivity to the video terminal with the camera and microphone connected to the telemedicine video platform. And of course, mobile consultation is via a mobile phones only. It's a 5G terminal connect back to the base station. So base station, we have a connectivity to all these telemedicine video platform that actually gather all this information together, which is the platform that hosting the application and storing all the information in there, where everyone can use anywhere with the 5G connectivity. If you look at the connectivity requirement, there's a delay of we call it the latency of 50 milliseconds between each of this application. This was this service. So like remote treatments, we need or less than 15 millisecond kind of delay, and the bandwidth of uplink generally you're uploading the video feed to the video platform, and require more than 50 Mbps. So the coverage for the first one, the remote mobile diagnosis, is actually in the hospital only. So generally, this table shows that the delay requirement and the bandwidth requirement for different different medical instruments or even the video terminals in here. And 5G actually can provide this kind of bandwidth and the delay latency required to support all these applications. If you look at the bandwidth today, like ambulance, you need more than 100 Mbps to share the video feed, to share the medical data from that you basically tap from the patients back to the video platforms. It requires more than 100 Mbps, where the 4G is not capable. While in China, with the 5G base station, it is possible. Okay. Here we zoom in to one of the application where it's actually a front-end fixed location. With the medicine solution, is actually all in hospital or a temporarily set up location. While this shows the connectivity for 5G in the front-end fixed location. So it's similar to the previous slides. We have a first aid center, consultation center. All these are linked together with via 5G connectivity on the 5G phones, as well as 5G CPE that actually give a connectivity to all the video terminals. So the medical consultation can be carried out. Okay, so consultation will be like remote consultation, solve the problem on insufficient first line medical experts. So one medical experts can actually sit in one safe location and provide consultations to massive amount of patients. Under the guidance, additional surgical fields cameras can be deployed if necessary. So because 5G is a mobile network, it can be remotely moved here and there wherever it needed. So there's a complement of 5G in this medical scene. While doctor rounds also doctor when moving around checking patient, it can be via this 5G connectivity, where using a video feed, a high resolution of camera, and a clear voice with the 5G to provide this doctor checking on patients instead of running every single patient room. Well, will be the same for the front end on mobile location. So in certain patient, it could be on a temporarily set up location. It could be a hall or in China where they have a mobile location. And 5G base station can quickly set up, probably just within 3 days, we can set up a mobile coverage within the medical mobile location required, and then provide all these services uh, to the temporarily mobile location for telemedicine. So this is how China tackle it in terms of telemedicine, where ZTE have collaborate with other industrial players to realize this whole connectivity and whole applications. While this slide mainly talking about the ambulance transfers and monitoring process, on ambulance transfer, generally there's a multi-parameter monitor dynamic electrocardiometer. So this is via a VGA connectivity to a video terminal. While the emergency call center here, we have someone that actually save all this video feed and have someone to provide medical consultation by looking at all these monitors remotely via 5G connectivity. Okay, so at the ambulance, we have a video camera feed, we have a microphone that you can talk with the call center or some technical expert sitting at the call center to provide real-time communication and diagnosis to the probably at the ambulance. We call it nurses at the ambulance over there. So this is how 5G connects everyone and all the applications for the telemedicine in the ambulance scenario. While for distant education, it's actually involves some live courses where provide a live video teaching for everyone. Uh, since everyone is staying at home, cannot going to school. Besides that, also have a synchronization of class where there's a real time where you can interact with the teacher or the doctor or the professors. Another one is a hosting platform we call it USmartClass, uh, where distant learning and tutoring is possible. So solution here on ZTE and other players, IT players in this distant education is provide live TV and video on demand teaching. Okay, real-time voice and video interaction for the synchronization class, and documentation sharing. While classes you can look, and then like what we have document sharing in a high definition form. We have an exam mode where the platform provide exam mode as well, multi-mode interaction and some teaching management to it instead of just video conferencing like what we have right now. The solution value is actually you can have a larger network capacity with no lag, no jamming, with a clarity on your voice and video feed. While the live causes the disadvantages is basically the weak interaction. While this is complements by the synchronization class, where we can have interaction about 300 interaction in class, about 1,000 live access. Basically live access students. That's advantages for synchronization class. While there's no teaching management platform here for synchronization class, because you cannot share, you cannot do the exam mode. So here on the USmart class is actually we have a teaching management. At the moment, the disadvantages of the USmart class is actually only support the PC Windows and no Android at the moment. So student only have a require to have their own PC to log into this USmart class. So we can see that during this 5G era, it's actually slowly transforming our educational system to a remote kind of educational system. But of course, face-to-face interaction is always more effective. but with the restriction of movement. So with even with 5G technology, we can have that as a complement uh, uh, towards the education. Generally makes full use of 5G network resources to develop, we call it a business to customer kind of educational, with the educational ministry, with the education bureaus, school, as well as other teaching institution, university or colleges, and increase IBTV value and value added services during this distant learning, for distant learning during this pandemic, COVID-19. Distant learning live courses will be have like a student looking at there with the laptop or as well as a camera and a message and a video exchange. We have a video platform like we have today, and they do have a board, computer, and TV. Okay, online teaching. So it's a real-time video content. Well, if you look at the platform itself, what can provide is a one speaker, multi-interaction lecture, multiple live courses, and you can basically have some live courses that actually save and then beam up later. And the interaction, the blue color line is the audio, and then some of it is audio, video, and together with data together. Okay. So we estimate, let's say you have a 3,000 or even 300 or even 1,000 participant in there. Yeah, you require a 1 Mbps upload symmetric bandwidth for single software terminal. Where today's network in 4G, you're not able to achieve that, while with 5G is able to. So it's a carrier class cloud service hosting this educational platform in large scale teaching. With 5G, it will be ubiquitous access and learning anytime, anywhere. Of course, you still can use it with the fiber network that you have at home, but 5G is actually complements it if you want it to have it anywhere or you do not have a fiber connectivity at your home. Immersive learning experience because of the clarity of the information or the video and the data being shared. So it's just we call it multi information sharing, audio, video, and data. Multiple access is at the moment it's just PC, but with the technology they are slowly building up on the mobile devices itself. So Android and iOS is coming later. Okay, where it supports certain protocol is what ZTE can collaborate with our system integrator to realize this. Uh, as I mentioned just now, remote tutoring. Teacher can send the courses to the students. So there's a platform that governs all this. With the experimental courses that we can try certain such as physics experiment or chemistry experiment courses, they can run with this use smart class platform. Information class, computer class can be realized lah. Well, we're moving to the third in the industry, emergency management. In emergency management, one is basically we improve the call center. We call it next generation call center and broadband narrowband integrated trunking system and the 5G network to have this experience of emergency management. So and in terms of application layer, you have a flat public security dispatch layer, where it actually sends the dispatch to a specific location if required. Is actually governed by the one single player. Where subsequently other application layers such as a practical management system, city comprehensive emergency management, emergency command and dispatch is all within this emergency management. While ZTE here, we have we can realize with the integrated command and dispatch platform to and with the SDK connectivity to all these applications. From there, we can link up with all the terminal layer like fixed phone, video intercom, all the video conference or security CCTVs, phones, police terminal or cluster intercom with all the network required. Here we of course we are prioritize on 5G network to link up to this platform to realize this emergency management requirements. So the integrated command and dispatch in sorry, you basically you're hosting a command center to identify where you want to send it, the dispatch personnel that need to be on site. We can actually have a video forwarding monitoring on certain location where we can identify whether it require this dispatch or not. We can also push the video uh, at the dispatch location to have a video conferencing. For the police itself, has a handheld police terminal with a remote experts to actually monitor and see instead of going to that location. So the dispatch will be a limited number of persons where sitting in command center while linking everyone is actually via a 5G. So when there's an emergency, for example, there's an emergency scene happen or an outbreak in particular location. This emergency management with the command center here that can manage all these hot zone where there's an outbreak. So with the video connectivity and the decision making, they are all linked. Experts, emergency command vehicle are all linked together. A vast decision can be made easily, where you have all this data gathered at one location in the command center, and everyone can actually access all this data instantly via 5G. That's where this emergency command management via this management via this command center is benefit to the whole pandemic, whole COVID-19 response team. So on the especially it could be on the roadblock, it can be on an outbreak at certain particular area or a condominium or specific like a market. So this is very beneficial to them. And yeah, also here is a temperature plus video monitoring. So you can basically monitor everyone's temperature with the heat camera and determine whether a dispatch is required, or command center can actually control and monitor all this status on all these locations where there's a temperature video camera at that particular location. So population body temperature monitoring plus we call it the command center that hosts all these things called ThinkX Cloud platform can actually realize this emergency management with the command center. So we can gather information at every single location instantly lah. While for remote office itself is actually what we have it today, but it can be a multi-party, just like what we have today in our high-tech office. It's just as wire fiber. But right now, everyone's at home or at a remote location. It can actually quickly have this remote office or via video conference at all these remote location via 5G. So it will be instead of someone one-to-one calling one-to-one party, it can be in a cloud platform where we ZTE can actually provide all-in-one cloud computer terminal that have this remote office kind of capability. Cloud video conference basically it will be helping in this remote office lah. Uh, Besides that, I think the security concern on all this video conference is one of them as well, which we need to address in 5G, where when you are hosting a webinar is for everyone, but if you are hosting if you are hosting a conference in all of your remote offices, it needs to be secure as well. So with 5G network, it actually can giving you the security required with a VPN access to the basically the remote office hosting cloud platform. So it provides a more secure connectivity via a VPN, via 5G access to have this remote office conferences. If you look at the last one, the in the media propaganda industry, what ZTE also have a solution that actually can have a 5G plus coverage, video cloud broadcast like a Netflix that actually pushing information to everyone. Instead, this is actually some value added to a media instead of a consumer like you guys are. But someone can actually host this cloud broadcast to everyone, like additional Netflix, or in China there is hosting like a CCTV that have this. While instead of a TV that you are watching this media, it could be like a VR where it's actually providing a video feed of a 360-degree. So besides that, it's like at the pandemic scene, you can actually put a 360-degree camera there to have an entire view of that scene with the true live voice that you see. It's as if you are at that scene, and with the VR goggle, you can actually experience what the pandemic scene is uh, with 5G. So with typical 4G, it'll be very hard to realize it because 360-degree live feed require higher bandwidth. While with 5G, it is possible with 5G plus VR with the VR feed from the 360-degree camera to the VR headset that you have at home. So this is what ZTE can provide all this platform to host the camera feed as well as to broadcast all this video broadcast. And the middle one is actually a certain advertisement is also uh, is only benefit to the media players. It's like an advertisement company. But if of course it also can be actually carried out via the 5G. If you are looking at the cloud media broadcast platform, that's the platform where we provide all this media. So it's via IP to 5G it can be a mobile app, indoor speaker, broadcast information input where and outdoor sound column supporting 4G and 5G. And here is actually another one is the 360-degree headset that you can have. So four parts are input terminal, transmission network, which is 5G, and then we require a cloud broadcast platform and a cloud broadcast terminal for it. For is the the terminal itself, there's a different of a broadcast and a normal terminal. So broadcast terminal is slightly different if you have a broadcast services around. So generally, these are the five business verticals actually supported with ZTE and our, of course, collaboration partners that we can realize all these services on five different industrial verticals during this pandemic in China. This is just the last one. Yep, on the 360-degree VR broadcast. So you do have a camera at the scene, and then you have on the bottom left here you have a VR goggle that actually can basically when you're turning your heads, it's like you are standing in the live scene, where you can look at the scene, how disastrous it is, how stressful it is. but of course also have a touch and feel on the sea itself while you are sitting in other locations. So with 5G, this can be realized. So that's part generally concludes the all these five industry where how ZTE and our partners can contribute in the connectivity with the operators, the mobile network operators, as well as the hosting partners to realize and to provide all these solutions to five different industrial verticals. The last one will be talking on the cases, shared live cases that we have that involve ZTE in here. So here we have all five industrial building 5G plus solution for COVID-19. Here are actually all our partners with the all partner name here. So we have a Newsoft, we have Baidu, we have Hisense, Genio, and Supermap, with which is our industrial partners. On and then focus industry like meet from this will be actually distributed with five different industry that I mentioned. So we have a video platform and have a broadcast platform, cloud desktop platform has been set up for all this industry with the video IoT services, AI services to analyze certain images, security for certain businesses, especially on the remote office, and high precision positioning on location. Where is this person? Where is this ambulance is? And with one superb 5G network, we can realize this. So we have a 5G end-to-end connectivity from the hosting servers on all the terminals, all the phones, and also edge computing. Edge computing is actually to provide the medias, and then end-to-end network slicing for certain services that require a very low latency, where it is important. We call it emergency that require emergency response to it, where we can give a slice of the network particular for that particular service. So if you look at this one, the active cooperation in industrial in terms of medical, so we have a remote imaging application with the medical industry. Here we list out a certain Liaoning Medical Forum, Hainan Digital Medical Conference during this pandemic, and work together with a deputy director of the 5G application industry matrix, basically the medical health subwork group, some 4G remote consultation in here. And other are like Shanghai Hospital, a collaboration with them, Zhengzhou Hospital, Yunnan Hospital, where they are the one that hosting the medical facilities, and then they are taking care of the COVID-19 patients remotely. So these are all the players actually involved in here for the medical industry verticals. Well, if you look at the remote diagnosis, we have sorry. These are the platform that we set it up. We have a remote real-time diagnosis via 5G that actually realized during the crisis in China. And here basically is some show off of both parties of the Medical Innovation Center with our CEO of ZTE China. Here basically we are showcasing is actually the 4K or even 8K HD transmission consultation for medical consultation via the 5G network. Well, if you look at the summary, we the location of our ZTE contribution is Jinan Hospital, Central Hospital, and Taohua One Plaza, and Fangcheng City. This is incorporated with corporate with the Guangxi Telecom. On the bottom here is a joint with Unicom, Shenzhen Unicom, and Southern Medical Industry to realize this remote medical. Uh, Basically, it's a showing of the remote medical surgery demonstration. Here on the right side, we have Tianjin. On the then we have another Jiangsu mobile complete first 5G plus MR remote pulmonary surgical in China. This is what we realized in Jiangsu. On the bottom here is helping medical care on building basically a live broadcast on certain talks on healthy Zhejiang oral action. This is in Zhejiang. So these are all the six success story that we have. We're working with the operators as well as the medical facilities. Well, for distant learning, we are building we are hosting the education on 12 top middle school on about 10,000 plus key 10 key colleges, and from primary school to secondary school in China and to college and even university with all the higher education. So we deployed about 2,000 cloud classroom and 100,000 teaching cloud desktops throughout all this region in the blue dots. And for command center itself, we have hosted a emergency command center in Shenzhen Nanshan, uh, where I actually control on the a pandemic on various in Shenzhen, various pandemic location in Shenzhen. So there's a requirements actually is a emergency office lah. They have all these connectivity phones connected with the mobile phones. Mm, so there's a emergency command system that actually hosting this command center. So from there you can have we have a large display screen, audio and video and digital conference system. So equipped with intelligent control system, video conference system, imaging access as well. That connected up to all other locations. So this is the emergency so-called command center system governance in the China Nansan area. In this slide, it's on Xining Smart City Comprehensive. So operation management command center project. This is what we have in Xining. So their requirement is not really like a command center, but it's like a operation management command center. It's not just for a pandemic. It's more towards to a enhancement on their site smart city requirement. So they take it like a smart city and add additional 5G pandemic application on top of it. So here, basically the solution on ZTE is to implement integrated data management, integrated management, control of comprehensive city operation. We have emergency management, so we run through the entire emergency process, and it's cross-network integration as well from their smart city project in different locations. So we call it building a peace war combination emergency management system. So to summarize one for emergency command center is we have a Shenzhen, Nanshan, and we have a Xining. So we also have Hunan, Yongzhou, Xintian country health planning committees. And Chongqing, we also do have one, and Jiangsu, 5 different locations. This is a bit off the topic on all the 5 industry. This is more related to the sorry. This is more related to a service that we offer during this pandemic 19 to basically enhance people's life. So it's a 5G sports game viewing experience that actually um uh, instead of you going to that particular location, you can have a viewing experience of that entire location. It's a 360-degree view lah, on the hall itself. So you can, if you don't have a VR headset, you can use a phone actually to turn around and also to zoom lah, to direct the angle, since the image output is actually a 360 degree. So in overall, in closing of this webinar, 5G plus network actually can help in both epidemic outbreak and healthcare prevention. And what we share is the solutions that we have during outbreak, the solutions that actually targeted for this COVID-19 epidemic outbreak. Also on the cases that we have deployed during the outbreak. But of course, in after the outbreak is over, okay, I think the all the application that we are deploying or we have is actually can continue to be used. So still basically all the applications still meets the, we see that it still meets the economic requirement. It should be there for a long term because we do not know will there be an outbreak, or since it has changed everyone's life on how we live or how we work every day. Instead of going to office, it can be we can see the trend is actually have a more work from home kind of scene for most of the businesses. So we can see all these businesses or other issue that or other scene that carry out besides a pandemic. It can actually we use all this application and system even after peacetime. So we see that there is also a requirement to evolution of all these application to enhance people's life. Since the 5G network is still building, and with 5G network in Malaysia here, we don't have it. It will have it sooner or later, and we need all this system to complement it if there's outbreak, or if the whole environment of our daily life has been changed. We see that 5G actually can help in these parts, where evolution of all these services is required, not just on 5 industrial verticals only. So it could be more than 5 or other industrial need to be involved together with 5G technology to improve everyone's lifestyles, or our the way of our living, I would say. So today 5G, we do have we call it we call it NSA mode, which is non-standalone, and in China it will go up to standalone mode in the very near future, probably end of this year. So yeah, the network itself is still evolving. So we can see the application with the newer 5G like a standalone mode network. It can actually complement or it can pull in more application to enhance everyone's life, to make everyone's life more easier. And today 5G is actually providing eMBB services with the NSA. And yeah, that's with the SA network, we can have a max connectivity, or more than 1 million connectivity throughout with a square kilometer, or even URLC, ultra reliable low latency connectivity with the SA mode that can pull in, it can have more application to it. So generally, we need to have an openness and a cooperative mind to collaborate together to build this to use this 5G network to enhance people's life and to change the world. Generally, this conclude the presentation for today. For my webinar for today. I think I'll pass back the mic to Dr. Lim.
Okay, thank you so much, Vicky, for sharing with us what is actually happening in China in terms of this 5G application and how this 5G is being used to help us during this pandemic time, and also how 5G can actually enhance our life. So for Malaysia, I think we are currently in the process of rolling out this 5G network, and soon we will have the 5G service in Malaysia. So we are all now realize how our life are being affected, have been affected by this pandemic, and we are all still adjusting to this new normal. Okay. So I'm pleased to see that China has actually made use of the 5G technology to overcome certain challenges and difficulties they face in work and in their life. And soon, I think we hope to have this kind of use cases and application also in Malaysia to help us. Okay. So we will now go into the Q&A session. In the chat box, we have a few questions already. So let's go through this question. We have first one from Wei Tong. So can 5G enhance augmented and virtual reality significantly? With robotics equipped with AR and VR, it can be extremely beneficial under certain circumstances, namely delivering the necessary medicine to patient precisely, or there might be some patient with movement difficulties. So it's about AR and VR. So how can 5G help on this aspect? So Vicky.
Today we have demonstrated the AR as well as VR over 5G network. Although AR and VR is actually like a headset that you wear on top of your head, and then you can have an experience of it's a real life experience instead of you going to that location with a VR. While AR is an augmented reality, it's like uh, you are wearing, we call it the Iron Man helmet, where you can you instead of looking at a screen, it will basically see all the information right in front of your eyes on your AR glasses itself. So with this AR VR that has already appeared in our life today, but all this AR VR is in low resolution, and of course is via a Wi-Fi network, where if you do not have a Wi-Fi coverage, as you know, Wi-Fi coverage is very small. You can't have that in a massive area. So with 5G, where we can incorporate the 5G connectivity into the AR and VR headset itself, we can see more and more application it actually can be used. And instead of we enjoy AR and VR at a certain Wi-Fi coverage location, we can enjoy in other location. So if you have a AR VR that have a 5G connectivity that you can enjoy the feed, the information via your headset everywhere. So I believe everyone will want that instead of you looking at your phone all the time already. With AR, is you can actually do image of feeding on the video on in front of your AR screen, and of course your normal viewing. So you can wear the AR headgear everywhere, and instead of looking at your phone for the message, the message will automatically pop up right in front of your eye, while you are probably talking with another person. So with 5G connectivity, this actually generally helps a lot, a lot. For VR itself is yeah, as I mentioned just now, you can, and you instead of you going to that location, like what some other operator have been showing, you going to that particular location to enjoy, to like a tourist. So you, instead of you flying there, you can enjoy that location itself at your home without flying in there, and or in a bus stop, or while you're waiting for your coffee to come, for your meal to come, you can enjoy that at that restaurant anywhere, instead of you going to that tourist spot location. So the experience there is immersed, okay, with AR and VR, and with the 5G connectivity. So we see that it's very important. AR and VR, it will play a very important role in this 5G era.
Yeah.
For medical itself, VR is not so much, but we see that the remote diagnostics is actually has been start testing via the AR glasses already. So when you are when you are looking at the patients, and it's actually popping up some information on your AR glass, on certain patients' information, or even messages, or even their heartbeat, for example. Instead of you keep on looking at another screen all the time, so you are focusing on a patient, and the patient can be probably in another country a few thousand miles away. So we see that there are actual AR medical doctors diagnostic on the patients, and another consultation very far away using the AR glasses, monitoring the diagnosis itself, where this already can be realized. And soon, where all the glasses, AR glasses equipped with 5G, this will be a real life scene already, with of course, with the 5G network altogether.
Yeah, I think because of the very demanding requirement for supporting AR and VR, this application is considered the main use case for 5G technology. Okay, the next question is about this 5G ambulance, because this is very interesting. Some would like to know what is the progress of this 5G ambulance in Malaysia. Is there any success story to share?
For 5G ambulance itself, I think ZTE together with DG and CREST had provide a demonstration of 5G ambulance in Langkawi earlier this year. So generally is via 5G coverage, and then connectivity to the ambulance via 5G, and then connect and all the video feeding as well as their ECG to the 5G network, and provide all this information feeding back to the hospital in Langkawi. It was a demonstration, I think, earlier. So at the moment, we do not have a 5G network. It's just a temporary network for a demonstration purposes. So if we say if a real life deployment is we do not have it yet today, because we don't have a 5G network. But I think this direction has been how to say, has been ventured together by CREST in this direction. I'm not sure what's the progress, because I don't have the this one have to be, I mean, CREST is the main body to actually looking R&D on this 5G ambulance. At the moment, ZTE is actually just providing a collaboration on the network coverage for them to test it out only. So ambulance itself, I'm not sure how to I can't comment much, but the network itself, we do not have it yet. We have a trial network to carry out this testing already.
I see. It's good to know we have a successful demonstration of this application, because this seems to be a very useful use case, especially during this pandemic time. Okay. Another question from Yoharash is about this telemedicine platform. Do you need this platform to be deployed near hospital? That's his question.
All these are in the 5G era, where everything is the item that is removable will be connected via 5G, while all the hosting platform and the storage will be hosting on the cloud basis. So it will not hosting in near hospital, but hospital will have a very good connectivity to this cloud platform, because not just one hospital needs it. The medical kind of telemedicine platform should host one platform that can cater for all the hospital around Malaysia. So it not should be near hospital, one hospital alone. It should be a cloud that actually can serve all hospital. So maybe in a data center where other platform are hosting together. So I would say in Malaysia, normally you will host in cloud platform in Cyberjaya. Cyberjaya very very high tech cloud platform at the moment.
Okay, thanks. Next question from Aho about this emergency dispatch system. Currently, I think it's usually using Tetra system, right? So do you see that it will soon shift into 5G technology?
Tetra system right now is actually just we call it like a walkie-talkie. So it's a Tetra voice system, and Tetra typically only provide one way lah. So if I'm talking, the other party is listening. While the other party talking, then I have to listen. I cannot talk at the same time. While we can see that 4G or 3G or even 4G, you can have both way communication already. But we don't have a very stable system like a Tetra. But with 5G, with all the 5G, even 4G plus 5G connectivity, we can see it actually enhances the communication. Probably Tetra can be replaced. Tetra, the drawback of Tetra at the moment also you do not have a data communication, so it's always voice only. So with 5G, it's not just voice anymore. It's a video, and video with probably a certain experience like 360 degree. So I think it will be definitely better. But purely on a communication, talking, probably Tetra is still there for some time.
Okay. Another question is about this traffic. Okay, so if you have this communication on the same frequency spectrum, how do you segregate the public use and the emergency use data? Is it important to do that?
Yeah, definitely it's important to do it. For example, if everyone is sharing a 5G connectivity, and then of course certain services we tag it as emergency, very high importance. So typically in a full-fledged 5G standalone network, we will actually provide a network slice. So it's a dedicated pipe for this emergency service where it has a higher priority compared to other services, like your browsing YouTube or Facebook. So we can actually segregate with a network slicing technology. But this one at the moment is only realized in SA mode lah. So SA mode at the moment 3GPP just frozen, where most of the operator are already gearing for it already. So we can see probably China end of this year you can have end-to-end slicings that can segregate all these emergency service, voice service, and or general service like we call it best effort demand kind of service with the same frequency 5G frequency spectrum.
Yeah, the network slicing is definitely a major strength of 5G network. The next question is actually related to this from Yoharasha. Can the end-to-end slicing be done now in China?
At the moment, yeah, China is still on NSA. Probably another quarter later, they will have a SA network where end-to-end slicing is possible. At the moment, end-to-end slicing has been successfully trialed here and there. Everyone have a touch and feel on end-to-end slicing already. They are basically doing their network upgrading to have a SA mode with the end-to-end slicing capability.
Okay, thanks. Next question from Zihan. So about use case that are quite outlook intensive. and 5G TDD downlink uplink throughput ratio is 4:1. How can 5G optimize this performance?
Although 5G TDD downlink uplink you have a ratio of 4:1, but in 5G if you're 5G you're using a new spectrum, we have a bigger chunk like a 3.5 C band that we have 10 10 megahertz 100 megahertz, so you can have about 100 Mbps of uplink lah, the one that we tested. Of course, it can always combine with the LTE band that we have to have a uplink aggregation. So I would say if you have a services that require certain uplink throughput, higher uplink throughput, it's better that you purchase a special slice targeted just for uplink only. So and that particular service with the requirement of high uplink throughput, then the network itself can allocate you more for that particular service, particular size.
Okay. Next question from David. He wants to know how's the 5G coverage and tower deployment challenges faced in Malaysia now.
Sorry, the David Lim. Okay, how the 5G coverage or tower deployment challenge in Malaysia right now? There's no 5G so-called 5G deployment because of 5G license new spectrum has been not been awarded yet. So everyone it could be transforming their current spectrum to 5G. This is one of the way, or they actually purchase new spectrum for 5G from MCMC. When there's a new spectrum, means you have an additional radio unit require with the new spectrum, and it's actually give a challenge for all the operators or all the towers owner, because you need to put more hardware on top of the tower. What we are proposing is actually to consolidate all this hardware. So you try to modernize your hardware. For example, one equipment can support multiple spectrum. This scenario, so you can save certain space, certain tower loading when 5G arrive. So yeah, definitely there's a challenge on space, on weight, on number of item on top of the tower. This is one of them. For 5G coverage itself, you basically just need more base station. You need more antenna to improve the coverage. So it takes time to have a so-called like LTE today, we have more than 80% population coverage. So 5G, it will take some time to build that. From it probably for whole 80%, it could be takes up to 3 to 4 years. And how basically it also depends on how aggressively all the operators are investing into 5G network.
Okay, I think we have done with the question in the chat box. If you have any other question, please feel free to unmute your mic and ask Vicky directly here. So any question? Any other question you want to highlight? One question from me, Vicky.
Yes.
When can we expect to have this 5G service in Malaysia?
Well, technology-wise, it's there already as other countries are building it, especially the big six, US, Europe, China, Japan, Korea, and Australia. So we call it the top tier of this 5G network at the moment. In Malaysia, the technology is there, and then it requires a lot of cooperation as well from other departments. Like of course, the new spectrum needs to be awarded, and then 5G itself at the moment also not a lot of devices. I would say less than 10% of the devices support 5G. So if you have a 5G network, you don't have a devices to support it. it doesn't really helps as well. So you need to look at the ecosystem of the 5G devices. You need to look at the operators when they are upgrading their networks to support 5G. You need to look at the regulators on how they regulate on MCMC wise, or Minister of Communication wise, how they basically regulate, provide a certain guidance or provide spectrum on 5G. Another one, once all the network is ready, you need other IT or industrial players to bring in to deploy 5G services. So like I mentioned, a video platform, like emergency command center kind of platform, this need to be there. Then only you can see 5G actually is benefiting the people. It's not just a 5G phone with a 5G network, then you feel it, but it's not. So beside this pandemic, we can see other industrial that have to bring in 5G application is like manufacturing. Is also a vital, and other businesses that will have a massive connectivity. This is also one of them lah. Manufacturing is or even private network, I think is also sensible in Malaysia at the moment. So it's a gather of a lot more players compared to the 4G era.
Okay, we have two more questions coming from the chat box from Jason. So is there a trend or a plan to use 3G spectrum and to phase out the 3G service soon?
The changing of spectrum is definitely yes. So it's always in the direction of when we have a new technology coming in, for example, 5G coming in, how about 2G? Because if there's no user in 2G, why don't we off it? Why don't we sunset it? And let's say we have 5G, and then if 4G and 5G can actually cater for all the services for 2G and 3G, we can always sunset it. But there's always a time. There's always a time. Not time is actually the question here. When is actually off sunsetting 2G? When's the time is sunsetting 3G? We see that in Malaysia, probably 2G still have some services running live that cannot be off, and so 3G also have a massive requirement, especially on the voice call. While not everyone have a voice can carry out voice over 4G today, so 3G still have certain demand on that spectrum itself. So going to 5G, probably you can see at 2025 or beyond 2025, you can see you probably people will think of, oh, probably, yeah, 90% of the devices already support 5G. So 3G there are no more 3G there are no more devices support it, then probably we will basically off 3G and all the spectrum for 3G will be transferred to 5G.
Okay, thanks. And another question is on whether ZTE have 5G millimeter wave use case and SA devices in the market now.
We do have millimeter wave devices, SA device, millimeter wave devices in the market. But okay, millimeter wave is more towards use case reference. We don't have a commercial millimeter wave network at the moment. We never deploy it yet, but we do have this product on a trial basis. Because millimeter wave is not a lot of countries have it. They are focusing more on C-band, which is a 3.5, which is useful spectrum for 5G or with the coverage. While millimeter wave is very, very short coverage, the application that can be run on the millimeter wave is very limited. And of course, millimeter wave, we do not have SA devices, ZTE we do have. And we call it Exon A10S and Exon 11 that we launched it this year, I guess. Yeah, we do have these two devices already. We have some sample in Malaysia as well, if you really want to look at it. But millimeter wave do not have SA at the moment. All millimeter wave are NSA mode. So yeah, I hope that answer your questions.
Okay, thanks, Vicky. If you have any question, you can ask directly now. Anyone? No? Okay. If no more question, then I think we will end our session here today. Before we go offline, I would like to take a group photo for a memory. Okay. So, Vicky, can you please help me to stop sharing the screen now?
Right now. Yep.
So if possible, I don't know how many I can see. We currently have 36. If possible, please turn on your camera so that we can take a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to see everyone, you can change to the layout to tile mode. Okay. So thank you everyone for coming and joining us in this webinar today. I'll take a photo now. All right. Okay, thank you so much. We hope to see you again next time in our next webinar. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. See you next time.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Lim.
Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Thank you, Vicky.
In Malaysia, we learn English.
Thanks so much.